So Nintendo put out a demo for Splatoon Raiders at select locations here in the US. I think it will spread to other places, but for right now, I was able to play it at the local Best Buy that I have. And I wanted to go over my impressions and thoughts because this is the most excited that I've probably been for a Splatoon game in a while. Now, don't get me wrong, I do love Splatoon. I think it's great. I love the original Splatoon. I play all of them. I have all of them on physical, of course, physical. I have Splatoon 1, Splatoon 2, Splatoon 3. But Splatoon Raiders, when it comes to what it does, to me, it takes so many aspects of what I like and kind of leaves out the stuff that I don't like about Splatoon. And even if you look at some of the DLC for like Side Order, for example, for Splatoon 3 or Octo Expansion, you look at the Salmon Run, all the different things that I feel are pretty cool about Splatoon, but stuff that I don't like, this game kind of just takes all of that, puts all the good stuff in, and leaves out the other things, and has left me thinking this game is built for me. It is built for a certain type of gamer out there, especially if you like looter shooters or that type of thing. Splatoon Raiders is right up your alley. But before we continue, we are giving away a Nintendo Switch 2 at 140,000 subscribers or on September 1st, whichever comes first. Subscribe, like, comment. The winner will be chosen at random, and it's a worldwide giveaway. Thanks, peeps. Okay, so I said on Twitter, this game is a Splatoon game for RPG fans, and I really mean that because as you play through the game, and I won't have any actual footage of the game because obviously I was playing it at a demo unit and I was by myself, so I couldn't get anybody to record me, but like I can tell you what I was playing, and of course I'll have the official footage from the Splatoon Raiders direct up so you guys can kind of get an idea, obviously if you didn't watch the direct or if you just want to see what the game is like. So when you're going through, I started out at a demo level, or more like a, I would say, tutorial level. There you go, the tutorial level in the demo, and it was essentially just teaching you how to play. It lets you do motion controls, or you can do regular controls, and you can pick right then and there, but then it kind of eases you in. You collect these little gems that you can get that can help you with upgrading later, but then as you play through the game, or as you go through the level, they start introducing new aspects to you each time. They start saying, okay, well, if you want to defeat this type of enemy, and then this type of enemy, they introduce some light platforming elements. There's some other things that's not in some of the other Splatoon games. Some of the stuff, yes, but when you're talking about like Salmon Run and all that, there's some things in there that's obviously it's not that. So they, once again, combine many elements. If you've played the different Splatoon single player campaigns, or if you've played Salmon Run, it's kind of all of that combined into one thing, one game. And the reason why I say it's like a Splatoon game for RPG fans is because as you're playing, you're going to be leveling up. Your guns have levels, you have customization with the gadgets, you have all these different things that kind of make it more like, oh, this is kind of like an RPG. This is kind of like, not exactly playing like, but like Borderlands or like Diablo, or a game that's kind of like a looter shooter, or even like Destiny, because each time you go to some part on the map, there's going to be treasure. You use your little sidekick that's there, and they can drill into it and you collect more. So you're getting resources, you're leveling up, you're getting different items, you're getting potential different customizations for your gadgets. There's a lot of cool things that make you say, oh, look at that shiny thing over there, let me get that, or oh, look at that shiny thing, let me beat all those enemies, let me get this little thing right here. So it has a nice flow and progression to it. Now, I couldn't hear the audio too much just because it's a demo unit and it was loud in the store. There was a lot of people in there, people buying Switch 2 and people doing other type of stuff, so it was pretty cool. It was a good atmosphere. There was just like a lot of people there, so it was cool. But at the same time, like I could hear the little sound effects, I can hear the little music that they had going, and it's all super nice. Like Splatoon has some of the most satisfying sound effects in the game, so it was really cool to kind of just like pop the enemies, collect the power eggs, and just get everything in the game. I was just blasting everything that I could, but I think that what makes this game so fun to me, at least, and what kind of separates it from other Splatoon single player campaigns or DLCs or even the multiplayer, is the looting and collecting. Looting, collecting, customization, gadgets. These are the things to me that really make the game go. Now you can have a different class of gadget, or more like there's the speed, there's the power, and there is the technical. And I got to try out all of them, but for me at least, I like the power gadget. The power gadget to me was the best that I got because it got you like the little ring that goes around you that can defend you, but then it also gave you like a samurai slash as well. So I thought that was dope, and it was really handy in certain situations when you start getting overwhelmed by enemies and everything. So I can only imagine once you get into the full game where you have the spicy difficulty, where you have the harder raids, where you have the deep sub-level or subterranean levels that you can go into, that you're going to need every single bit of that. And if you have other people playing with you, it's going to be even more intense, because this game does support a dynamic difficulty. It has a difficulty in there. You can play the tourist mode, you can play the normal mode, and you have the hard difficulty. But if you add in other players, it will adjust the difficulty as many players that are in. So it is going to be a harder game if you're playing on the hardest difficulty, plus you have 4 players playing in your game. So I can definitely see all the different gadgets and customization and leveling. All of that is going to come into play if you're playing the hardest levels, if you're playing on the hardest difficulty. And I love that type of stuff. I love the looting, I love the collecting, I like the challenge of having something like this and having reasons to go into levels or even replay levels, grind it out, collect different things. That next gadget or customization could be the defining factor, whether you get through something or whether you can't beat that. So for me, at least, it's really exciting to see a game that is like this, that's built for RPG fans. Now, it's not a straight up RPG like you would see, you know, like a Final Fantasy or something, so don't get that. I'm kind of saying it's more of like a Splatoon game built for RPG fans. So if you like to see the numbers popping up and the damage that you do and the customization that you have and the leveling, because the weapons do have levels and all that, this is the Splatoon game for you. So for me, at least, that was the main thing about this game that stood out to me, was the gadgets and customizations, the different abilities that you have, how you can employ them, and just the satisfying nature of just blasting enemies back, using your weapons to really kind of flank and get around. And typical Splatoon stuff, if you've played Splatoon Salmon Run, a lot of the tactics and strategies can work, but with way bigger areas and locations to kind of fight on, compared to that little small island there where you're really just taking those power eggs and putting them into the bucket. And that's fun and all, that's awesome, but that's not the same thing as a full game constructed with the RPG element. So if you've played Splatoon 3 Side Order, or if you've played Splatoon 2 Octo Expansion, and if you've played Salmon Run, kind of just combine all of those with a single player experience, but then can also be played cooperative like a Salmon Run. So it just kind of combines, like I said, a lot of the best elements from all the different Splatoon types of games, but it leaves out the stuff that maybe I don't like so much, like kind of waiting for the multiplayer games, or kind of some of the stuff when it comes to the Splatoon single player experience where there's not really a lot of upgrading or customization to be had. I mean, there is a bit, but not like this. This is far more in depth than a Splatoon 1, 2, or 3 single player experience, and that's why I felt a bit more hooked to it compared to the typical Splatoon single player experience. And this was just a demo. I was able to play the beginning level, I was able to play a couple other levels that you can go to. There's a subterranean level that you can play, and I had a blast. I thought it was fun. Now, when it comes to performance, perfect 60 frames per second. Now, I don't know if it's 120 FPS or not. Some people were asking about 120 FPS. I felt like it was 60, but then again, I'm not sure, because I played Metroid Prime 4 in 120 FPS, and I really couldn't tell the difference too much between that 120 FPS and the 60 FPS, and they both run locked at that for the most part, it seems like, or it's very close to it. So I'm not sure if they have 120 FPS mode in this game. They might. I was playing it handheld, so if they were running at 120 FPS, I didn't know, but it looked like 60 to me. Either way, it doesn't really matter. It has superior frame rate. There is not a single drop. There was times where there was a bunch of enemies on screen. They were all coming at me. There was stuff flying at me, and there was no drops whatsoever. It was perfect when it comes to that. And Splatoon is known for its good frame rate, so it's not like Splatoon has ever had like a lot of dips or anything. But you got to remember, Splatoon 1, Splatoon 2, and Splatoon 3 all ran at 30 FPS in the Inkopolis area. So this one, I was wondering, okay, what's going on here? And I think that's the reason why it's not on Switch 1, because I think there would be some frame rate drops, considering that Inkopolis does run at 30 FPS on the Nintendo Switch 1, but this runs at a perfect frame rate. Whether it's 60 or 120, I don't know, but I'm leaning more towards 60. But yeah, it was super responsive, super responsive. I didn't have any issues with the controls. You were able to do the gyro controls. I don't know if it supports mouse controls. I didn't see anything about that, and I wasn't able to do it because the units that they have there don't let you detach the Joy-Cons. I was playing with the Pro controller, a Switch 2 Pro controller, and in tabletop mode, but there was a handheld mode as well, but I was playing more with the Pro controller to just kind of see how that layout feels, and it just moves and feels like a dream. The smooth gliding sticks on the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro controller are just perfect for this type of game. So I was having a blast. It was very fun. It was a great experience. And even playing like on a small screen in a noisy atmosphere, if you're playing the game with your headphones on and playing with your friends on like a really sleek OLED monitor, that's probably going to be a just exquisite like type of experience. Or if you're playing on a big TV and kicking back on your sofa and just playing by yourself, or even if you're game sharing or playing local with like a family member or friend, I think that is probably like a peak existence type of thing. If you have 2 Nintendo Switch 2s or 3 Nintendo Switch 2s or whatever, you have your buddies, you guys all want to play the game, you can game share it and play all local, or if everybody has their own account and they hop into it themselves, I can only imagine how fun that would be if you have a squad of people doing that in person, hanging out, almost like a LAN party type of thing. I mean, you can probably play the game all night, put it on the hardest difficulty and play the game and just play the spicy difficulties and go through it. It would remind me of back in the day when I used to play Halo. That was competitive, but I would play Halo with my friends all night back in the day, decades ago. So for me, at least, I know I'm going to play this with my daughter. I know she has Switch 2. I'm going to play this with her. We're going to game share. We're going to play it. We're going to have a lot of fun. But yeah, the performance, the controls, the frame rate, all of that was great when it comes down to that. But yes, the big takeaway for me at least, gadgets and powers, super fun to use. The light platforming sections were kind of nice. Like they showed up a little bit. It's not really anything too crazy, but it's kind of cool. And like the best thing that I can say about this game is that it's a pick up and play. It's a pick up and play and get right into it. Very minimal loading times. You hop right into the matches or right into the levels. It gets you going right away, and it feels like a real gamer's game. Like we always have a lot of different types of games, and trust me guys, I love any type of game, right? You have cinematic games, you have sports games, you have different types of games, but then you have games built by people that you know love video games and remember the essence of old school video games. And that's what this is. This is built for responsiveness. It's built for quick play. It's built for people that just want to get into the game and have fun and enjoy themselves. And that's what I was doing. I felt like a kid again when it comes to Splatoon, like the bright colors, the vibrancy of it, the speed of everything, the amount of depth, the type of pressure that it puts on you with the enemies coming at you and then you having to have strategy. Like it all just came together. It's not a super expensive game. It's going to be a 50/60 split type of game. So I think that they essentially just use Splatoon 3 and just rehash the assets. They just reuse the assets, and I'm completely fine with that if the game is going to be cheaper. And obviously it's not the next major game in the series. It's a spin-off game, and they've said this, it's a single player focused spin-off game that you can play cooperative with your friends if you want. But this whole thing can be played single player all the way through, and you can do just fine. Multiple customizable difficulties, different stuff that you can do, spicy difficulty levels within that, more rewards that you can get. So this is just built to be a gamer's game. I can see this game when it comes to like the length of it, maybe the campaign is anywhere between 10 hours or 15 hours or so, depending on, you know, what you want to do. But if you want to get everything in this game and kind of collect all the different stuff and get all the customizations and the gear and beat all the hardest places and hardest areas and locations, I can see it being a lot longer than that. But I don't think it's going to be anything like crazy when it comes to like the amount. It's not going to be like a 300-400 hour game or anything. It's not going to have that type of inherent replay value of a Splatoon competitive if you're trying to, you know, go up the leaderboards or rankings or anything. But I think for the price and what you're getting, I think you're getting a lot of content and value just based off of what I just saw and the type of locations and where you can go on the map. It looks like there's going to be a lot of different raids that you can specifically do, and of course the cooperative multiplayer can add some replay value and add some stuff in there as well. But we have to wait for the full game. I know that reviewers are probably going to be picking it up within the next week or so, I think, for the reviews that are going to drop probably like a day or two before the game comes out at the end of July. So I think it's going to get a solid review score. I think it's going to be pretty similar to other Splatoon games, which is low 80s. But for me at least, I'm enjoying this a lot more than I enjoyed Splatoon 3 Side Order, than I enjoyed Splatoon Octo Expansion, or any of the Splatoon single player campaigns from Splatoon 1, 2, or 3, which I've played all of them. I've been with Splatoon since day one. I was actually one of the first to play Splatoon at E3 in 2014, so I've been there since day one for Splatoon, and this franchise has just evolved and gotten better and better, and I think that this is probably its best incarnation of a single player experience that they've done so far. This is just a best incarnation of that. And even if you want to talk about like Salmon Run, and if it's better than that, I can definitively say that this is more fun than Salmon Run, because Salmon Run is just such a small thing on top of Splatoon overall as a whole, from Splatoon 2 and Splatoon 3, but this is a fleshed out, fully featured single player Salmon Run essentially that just blows it up to like on steroids or something like that. So it's just a lot better in that respect. So I'm really enjoying it. I love the characters in there. I love the sidekick that you have. So even if you're playing the game by yourself, you still have someone else helping, and you can fight with them, and they can like get like a superpower, and they can charge and do different stuff. Like, it's just, man, my mind kind of spins like the amount of fun that I'm probably going to have playing this game. If there's anything that I can say that maybe there wasn't so good about this, maybe the graphics could have been better. I know that's something that some people were saying, well, it's just kind of like we're using the assets. It looks very similar to Splatoon 3, which I do agree. The graphics weren't bad in the game. It was nice and shiny. I think it's running at a native 1080p, and it's running frame rate wise. But obviously, like the ground and some of like the leafage or like shrubs and trees and other things could have been better there. I think they're probably optimizing performance in easy pick up and play and multiplayer experiences to not bog down or have any type of performance issues whatsoever, but that still could have been better and kind of used the power of the Nintendo Switch 2 a bit more. But like I said before, I do think this game probably wouldn't be running as efficiently or look nice enough if it was on the Nintendo Switch 1. So they do use it a bit, but it could have been better, especially compared to some of the other games that we have on the Nintendo Switch 2. But outside of that, this game is looking like it's going to be pretty good. But what do you guys think about my impressions so far of Splatoon Raiders? And will you get a chance to maybe check it out, maybe at a different location? Walmart, Best Buy, Target, it's at somewhere. You got to go find it. And I don't know about international, so we'll see about that. And we'll see about a demo on the eShop. They did one for Starbucks, and they had one in stores. So we'll see if they do one before launch or after launch, or if they do one at all when it comes to an eShop demo. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, peeps, that wraps it up for this one here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and check out my other Nintendo Switch 2 RPG content and more right here on screen. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.